I think it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah.
How does this happen? So regularly I'm like looking at something and I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding. And I never even realized like it happened. So before reinstalling, don't forget, clean off your flywheel and pressure plate surfaces with brake and parts cleaner before you install the clutch disc. Don't want anything oily or greasy or even remotely slippery. Oh, there was the blood all over the flywheel. Cool. Anyway, you don't want anything slippery on those surfaces or else your clutch is not going to work the way it's supposed to and you're going to be unhappy. Let me find one of my mini clutch alignment tools in my toolbox. That one's probably right. Alright, so it doesn't sit perfect. I guess I'll have to manually align it, but obviously if it's not perfect, as long as the trans goes in, when it goes in, as soon as I push the clutch in the first time, obviously the input shaft's going to center it the way it's supposed to be. And honestly, if the transmission goes in, it is centered, so. Let's clean off the pressure plate surface. There's a couple heat marks on this. Nothing all that serious. It's plenty healthy to still use. Plenty dirty too. Alright, where are the dowel pins? Over here. Whoa. Trying to keep my head out of the way. But like, I also have to see what I'm doing, so. I mean, that's a little closer. Don't tell me this thing's directional, like it goes on one way. Okay, did not realize it was directional. I guess when I put it on the Sentra on the dual mass, the first build, I just got lucky. Pressure plate bolts, where art thou? All the pressure plate bolts torqued to 30 foot-pounds. This whole cool assembly is all bolted down and ready to get the transmission bolted onto it. So my handy-dandy truck is going to help me take his stuff over to the house over there. Look, there's the G. And power wash, super dirty transmission, cross member axle, and this other motor mount, as they are super filthy and disgusting like the engine bay used to be, which isn't 100% better, but I'd give that like, I don't know, 65-70%. It's a lot better. I just want to say I've been using that gunk engine degreaser for years, and I just tried the Super Tech version. Oh my god, it is so much better. It gets everything so much cleaner on like the first pass. I'm quite impressed. Another reason to use Super Tech, which is what I use for everything. So I just got this dried off. I actually got some bell housing splashback when I was blasting that out, and I had to go shower because I had a black polka dotted neck and head. But axle's clean, the mount's clean, obviously the transmission's cleaner, it's good enough, and this cross member came out great. And this thing is like factory finish now for the little cleaning I did. There's still some dirt because I wasn't super thorough. It's not the point. Just want to get most of the junk off, but yeah, this part came out awesome. Better look at it one last time. It's the last time we're going to see this stuff before it gets hidden in that bell housing for a very long time. It's on. Well, I got a little too into working yesterday off camera with Jeremy. We got way more done than I thought we were going to. Motor's bolted in. Really the only thing we got to do before we start it, I got to hook up a new fuel line, put the intake on, hook that up, hook up the exhaust, Put new battery terminals on and put the new battery in. Where's the new battery? There it is, over there. So, oopsie. This is something that's always good to do when you get a new car, especially on the clutch if it's manual. Clean out, vacuum suck all the brake fluid out of the slave, or I should say the clutch master cylinder and the brake master cylinder, and rebleed them with fresh fluid. As you can bet, the previous owner probably never, ever serviced those. I know not everybody's going to agree with me on this, but it's 2021. Pedal covers haven't been cool since like 1999. That's ricey as fuck. That's where that belongs. And because these are so cheap and crappy, all the screws are stripped, so I have to drill them out. And you know what, while we're at it, these, whatever these are supposed to be floor mats, also in the trash. So I took the fuel line off of the white Sentra because the fuel line that's going to be needed for the SR20 is going to be a different length, so there's no need for me to make another one because I had to cut off the stock fuel line. And I lost the hose clamps, but it's probably for the best. I actually got this little kit at AutoZone, and it comes with these little clamps that, instead of the hose clamp style, they actually squeeze together with a bolt and a nut, which means they can get a lot tighter, so I won't have any fuel leaks. I think we're almost ready for the first start. I got coolant ready, power steering, I bled the rack, filling the trans with some good old Redline MT90. I'm excited to see how this stuff works. I've only ever ran stock fluid and SuperTech fluid, which is actually meant for rear diffs. It's technically a GL5, which this needs a GL4, which this is. And I think I got all the electrics hooked up. I do want to change that filter, and I got the fuel line plumbed. We're almost ready to go. Well, still got an open header right now. I got to get that exhaust off. I got some rusty bolts soaking in penetrating fluid. The new exhaust from the other spec is sitting over here, and unfortunately it's going to be running cut for a little bit because it's super wet outside today, and I forgot to take the rear muffler off the other spec when it was in here, which is, we'll bolt right up to that exhaust, so it's going to be a little noisy for a bit. Alright, like you just heard me say, open header just like the first spec build. But check the oil. Oil's full. Got some coolant. Actually, I might add some real quick. Power steering's topped up and it's been bled. Trans is filled. Basically, I think we're ready to start this thing. I'm gonna add a little bit of coolant from the coolant bucket. Well, see if it starts. Runs, but I do think there's a misfire somewhere. There's no engine lights on yet, but it vibrates so much. I think there's a misfire. One of the coil wires might be mixed up. I'll have to get a double check. Jeremy hooked those up, so I didn't double check. Okay, so it doesn't have a muffler. That's being held up by a jack back there, but it's running really smooth now. Wow, that's loud. Obviously the header got some oil on it, so it's smoking a little bit. It's not leaking. Like I said, it's running real smooth now. real question is the curse of the motor gone? Does it rev? Yes, it does. So I am so excited for this motor to finally be blasting me down the road again. Well, as much as 180 horsepower can. Still pretty fun. But this makes me happy. Now, as far as these headlights go, I want to drive this now, and I'll fix some of this stuff later. So I'm going to wrap up the halo wires, just tuck them, and I'll see what bulbs are out and replace those. But other than that, they're just going to get stuck right back in for now. Honestly, I might even not hook up the halos because I kind of want black housing halos anyway, so we'll see. Okay, upon further inspection, this fuse was blown for this headlight. Kind of hot, isn't it? No, okay, I just felt that for some reason. That fuse is blown, that's why the headlight didn't work. So, whew, I thought I had a wiring mishap. I was checking voltages and nothing was showing up. Alright, so this piece was actually in backwards before. They had it set so that this thing was wrapped around here somewhere, and then this actually went to the screw. And the screw was totally stripped, so I had to drill it out. I couldn't find a screw small enough, so I drilled this hole out, threaded it for this screw, put this one in, and now should be able to install this light bulb. Oh yeah, sweet. Well, let's close the hood on this build. See how well it drives. This car is gonna need an interior detail video, and I have some interior parts to put in anyway. Already looks way better without those stickers all over the back. If I don't run it, I'm not putting the sticker on my car. I definitely didn't have a Brodix block or High Sky racing cams. Well, here they are. This one gave its heart so that this one could live. And that one's gonna, okay, let's not that one. That one is gonna give its heart so this one can live. Sadie really wants to go for a ride in the new Sentra. Right, Sadie, you can go for a ride. You can go for a ride. So I gotta get the Sentra up on ramp so I can take the exhaust off the back, the rear muffler, put it on the new spec so it's not so freaking loud. I don't really have any other way to do this other than to stick the truck in 4 low and pull it up on some ramps so I can get underneath it. I got the rear muffler off. Unfortunately, I had to cut a little section of it. It was already cut here. You can see there was tiger tape on it to seal it. I had to cut it here to get it over the rear beam axle. And I just want to point out too, it's kind of cool knowing that Nissan was sponsored in partnership with Calsonic, back with that cool blue R32 if you've ever seen it. And it's a Calsonic rear muffler, so just something kind of neat. So with this wire wheel, we're trying to get all this, I think this is tiger wrap, something like that. Trying to get that wrap off the exhaust so we have a clean surface to mate to when we put it back together. I'm gonna try to, as funny as this looks, strap the GoPro on my head. See if I can get some shots from my point of view, what exactly is happening, because there's really not a better way to get a view of it. Eternal. Alright, I got the old exhaust off the back of the car. And with a little help from engine degreaser and Scotch-Brite, I actually got the factory finish back on the tips. Not perfect, but it's not supposed to be. It's gonna get dirty again in 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and put this on. Alright, a clamp is rejoining the pieces. There's 2 clamps on there because I don't like to weld underneath the car. I wish this wasn't cut, but I can't go back in time and fix somebody else's mistakes. So I think now that it should be on nice and quiet, we can go for a rip. Alright, hopefully this sounds a whole lot better. I almost cut my whole freaking knuckle off trying to get this exhaust on anyway, so it better sound good. I know some people like straight pipe QRs. Unless they're boosted, I'm just not into it, so I prefer the stock exhaust. Maybe if we boost it someday it'll be loud again, but right now, sounds just like the white Sentra did. Same exact exhaust and motor, so it should. That's nice. I can talk over it. I'm happy with that. Yeah, decent volume. You guys might notice the steering shake. It's got a bad inner tie rod, so I'm not going to drive it too hard because I don't want to die today. The first time I've ever driven with a GoPro on my head. It's so nice now that it's quiet. Oh my god, it's so much better. Alright, I'm going to do a second gear pull and call out the numbers. We're at 30, 40, 50, 60, that's 70, and I'm going to stop there. I'm not sure if you can hear, I'll do it again, but in the white Sentra, that at 5,000, I don't think the butterflies were being actuated, because now it almost makes like a VTEC noise where the profile of the engine sound changes as you hit 5,000, and it never did that before. So I'm wondering if those butterflies were ever actually even opening. Might have had more electrical issues with that car than I thought. It's so much nicer now that it's quiet. Like, I feel like I can be hard on it and everybody's not looking at me like, bro, why are you so loud but you're so slow? Alright, when I get back on my road, I will do a nice little second gear, and like I said, I'll shut up and boost the audio so you can hear the butterfly valves actuate. Well guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. I want to thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next video. And as I pull back into the barn here, I will talk to you all later.